Good morning. Good morning.
We change the world in history right here where we're from. It's new beginning to you and me, cause we're not done. In our city, in our city, in our city, we're not done. I appreciate that. We change the
Okay, that means that it's time to rise and shine. Good morning, everyone. It is a Tuesday morning, the day after Labor Day. I know all you guys have been laboring out there and everything like that, so you kind of, y'all may be a little bit tired this morning like I was, working hard and all that stuff and all that hot sun and everything like that. But we're here, and it's time to get acclimated back to the real world. It's a weekday. It's time to go to work and things of that nature. So let us not get lost in laziness this morning. Okay, it's a short week anyway, so you only got 4 days to work. So you want to suffer through it, go through it, and But I tell you what, I am going to do one thing though. I'm actually going to change. It's going to be from 8 to 10 pretty soon. Because 7 o'clock is hard to get up these days. That's hard to. So which means that I got to get up at 5 to think about getting up at 6 to be there at 7. That's just too many hours to have to think about. But 8 o'clock is just about right. Everybody should be up at 8 o'clock, unless you're in the military. Then you're at 8 o'clock. You're late. But my son's in the military, not me, so I can I can be a little late here. Okay, so but anyway, it's time to rise and shine. It's time to get up and see what the world has to bring you. So get up. Let's stop wasting daylight. Okay. So let's get on. Let's get ready to go to work. Okay. Next up, of course, it's our daily bread, and then we'll get on with the festivities of the day. It's something loose. Our daily bread's next. A word from on high. Something that'll make you thankful for each day that you rise. Because today is a present because you never expected it. And last night, as you laid down and got up, somebody did. Good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine. Next up, our daily bread. Hang loose. We'll be back.
For the love that heals and the joy you make in the tapestry of life. I see your grace, every moment filled with your warm embrace.
The ministry of mourning with others helps bring healing to our hearts.
Our Daily Bread.
Today's encouragement from the Our Daily Bread devotional was written by David McCaslin. David writes, in 2002, a few months after my sister Martha and her husband Jim died in an accident, a friend invited me to a Growing Through Grief workshop at our church. I reluctantly agreed to attend the first session, but had no intention of going back. To my surprise, I discovered a caring community of people trying to come to grips with a significant loss in their lives by seeking the help of God and others. It drew me back week after week as I worked toward acceptance and peace through the process of sharing our grief together. Like the sudden loss of a loved one or friend, the death of Stephen, a dynamic witness for Jesus, brought shock and sorrow to those in the early church. In the face of persecution, godly men buried Stephen and mourned deeply for him. These men of faith did two things together. They buried Stephen, an act of finality and loss, and they mourned deeply for him, a shared expression of their sorrow. As followers of Jesus, we need not mourn our losses alone. In sincerity and love, we can reach out to others who are hurting, and in humility we can accept the concern of those who stand beside us. As we grieve together, we can grow in understanding and in the peace that is ours through Jesus Christ, who knows our deepest sorrow.
Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Acts chapter 7, verse 54 through chapter 8, verse 2. When the members of the Sanhedrin heard this, they were furious and gnashed their teeth at him. But Stephen, full of the Holy Spirit, looked up to heaven and saw the glory of God and Jesus standing at the right hand of God. "Look," he said, "I see heaven open and the Son of Man standing at the right hand of God." At this they covered their ears and, yelling at the top of their voices, they all rushed at him, dragged him out of the city, and began to stone him. Meanwhile, the witnesses laid their coats at the feet of a young man named Saul. While they were stoning him, Stephen prayed, "Lord Jesus, receive my spirit." Then he fell on his knees and cried out, "Lord, do not hold this sin against them." When he had said this, he fell asleep, and Saul approved of their killing him. On that day, a great persecution broke out against the church in Jerusalem, and all except the apostles were scattered throughout Judea and Samaria. Godly men buried Stephen and mourned deeply for him. That's today's scripture reading from Acts chapter 7, verse 54 through chapter 8, verse 2.
And now let's pray together. Dear Heavenly Father, please help us to mourn with those who mourn and grow together in your love for others. May we be sensitive to how they feel. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries. The ministry of mourning.
Shout, counter marching all about, and those caissons go rolling along. For it's high, high beat in the field artillery. Count out your numbers loud and strong. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And wherever you go, you will always know that those caissons go rolling along.
And of course, now we celebrate our without most of us, well, most of us don't understand the reason we do it. But somebody has to guard it. All of these young men and women that are living in our country this morning. Without them, we might be in labor on Labor Day. Other than all. Good morning. Time to rise and shine.
Send bird, for our is our God.
And last but certainly not least, the United States Marine Corps. Hey, everybody makes mistakes. Alrighty then. Okay, that's enough. We got it. We good. Okay. I got it. We good. We're good. All right. Now, good morning, everybody. Now, you know, it's okay. It's really not Monday. It's really not Monday, but it's sort of kind of Monday, which means that I have to play my little thing here before, and then we'll get on to some conversation. Anybody hear the great news about? I think everybody should probably move to Chicago. Okay. Yeah. And you wouldn't even have to go to basic training if you're going to join the Army, because in Chicago, in Chi-Town, Chirac, we'll talk about that another thing. And what did that mean to us? Okay. Because normally what happens in these other places, don't really, but it's getting to the place now that everything in these cities sooner or later makes their rounds. They come to every city. Montgomery is somewhat in that place right now. But anyway, we'll talk about that. But right now, your steps are already ordered. So if you think you got a lot to do with what goes on in your life, well, you got something to do, but you don't really have. There are a lot of things you can't change because the big jump master in the sky has already determined which route you're going to take. And somebody once said, if you want to make God laugh, if you want to make him have a good joke, tell him what you plan. Okay, just tell him what you plan. And then if he starts laughing, then you'll understand why. Okay, so don't make too many plans, because plan to get up, plan to take a shower, plan to simple things, but not the big things, because you never really know what he has planned for you. So anyway, this is called your steps are already ordered, and I think you'll recognize the voice. And then we'll get back to some other things. Yeah, we certainly need to talk about Montgomery, and of course over the weekend, we still shooting people around here too. That's good. Okay, Afghanistan and Chirac. Yeah, that's what it is. 53 people. No, it's 53 people shot and 7 killed. And this is what happens when Democrats run your city too long. And again, it is not all Democrats, but those who are deeply immersed in the philosophy, it ain't our fault. I'm telling you, there's something wrong up there. Yeah, somebody called the president. I think I called him up and tell him they need to go on to Chicago too. Yeah, they need to go ahead and send the National Guard to Chicago. And now people in Washington D.C. are walking around talking, man, it's a great place to live. Anyway, we'll be back with all that when we come back. Okay, I'm just saying it's gonna be a good conversation today. Okay, so y'all hang loose. We'll be back. Your steps are already ordered.
Don't deviate. Don't procrastinate. Don't become frustrated. All you have to do to win this battle is stay on track. There are moments that try the human soul so violently and so perplexing that if the truth were told, all of us have had moments that we wanted to throw up our hands and walk away. Discouragement can creep in secretly, hide behind clothes, makeup, hairdos. Discouragement is so bold that it will even hide behind a smile. Discouragement will go into a tent, into a garage apartment. It'll go into subsidized living. It will walk right into a Section 8 neighborhood. It will come in. But don't think that it stops there. Discouragement will walk right into a middle-class house and sit down at the dining room table and have a cup of coffee early in the morning. It won't just stop there. It'll go in a mansion and sit on the side of a jacuzzi, stick his feet in the hot tub, and tell you life is not worth living. If you listen at discouragement, it will cause you to make bad decisions. It will cause you to think that life is not worth living. And secretly, behind the facade of a smile and a good morning and a praise the Lord and a how are you, you will wonder if you're ever going to get out of what you're into. Over evildoers, how they prosper in their own way, they shall soon be cut off. He says, in other words, don't make a permanent decision over a temporary circumstance. He says, don't allow a moment of agony to make you draw a conclusion about life prematurely. Because if you just keep on walking with God, God has a way of making everything all right. But he warns us and declares to us that the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. Steps. Somebody say steps. Now, the term steps implies process. Means it's going to take a while. Means that you can't get to the destination just because you want it, just because you saw it, just because you like it, just because you need it. In fact, we are often tormented by vision. Yeah, we are tormented by vision. It's a painful thing to be a visionary, because a visionary sees what shall be and wakes up to deal with what is. And sometimes he made me wait. He made me slow down and said, no, you skipped that step. Go back. Do that again. If you skipped it with Jimmy, I'm going to send it back with Freddie. If you skipped it with Willie, you're going to have to go through it with Roger. If you skipped it with Sally, you're going to go through it with Susie, because all of these are tools that I'm using to work on you. I'm not preparing the blessing for you. I'm preparing you for the blessing. The blessing is already prepared. Oh my God. The blessing is already prepared. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things that God have prepared for them that love him. Did you know your blessing is already ready? That is already in place, that God isn't fixing it up right now. It's already done, that the work doesn't have to be applied to where you're going. The work has to be applied to you, so that when you get where you're going, you can handle what you gotta handle. And so, God, help me preach the steps, the steps, the steps. Touch three people and say, the steps, the steps, the steps. You wanted a good husband, but you wasn't a good wife. You wanted children, but you wasn't a good parent. You wanted a good wife, but you wasn't a good man. And anytime you get anything too soon, you will trip on the steps. So God puts us in process and orders steps. It is my cross that makes my crown. It is my agony that makes my ecstasy. It is my sickness that makes my healing. It is my poverty that illuminates my prosperity, makes me appreciate where I am. Oh, God, help me. Makes me appreciate where I am right now. You don't notice good health till you've been sick. You don't even notice it. You don't even understand the words that are coming out of my mouth until you have been sick. You will never thank God for feeling good until you felt bad. You'll never thank God for your back, for your neck, for your head, for your kidneys, for your liver until it's been challenged. But after a while, you start thanking God for crazy stuff. Thank you, because I can see this morning. They met Brother Job one day, and they said, Job, your children are dead. Your cattle are dead. Your wife has despised you. Your name has gone down. He said, that's all right, I'm right on track. The Lord knows the way that I take, and when he has tried me, I shall come forth as pure gold. I don't know who God wanted me to preach to this morning, but the Lord sent me to tell you, you're right on track. Having done all to stand therefore anyway. And whatever happens, just say, Lord, I thank you. You ordered this step. I won't murmur in it. I won't complain in it. I won't be fearful. I won't be frightened in it. I'm right on track. Don't deep.
Okay, good. Let me turn this on. Now, before we started any deep conversation this morning, I know that a lot of us are disappointed this morning because of Saturday. Okay, a lot of us are disappointed because, the Tide got smacked and so did Notre Dame. So now, for a minute there, though, Notre Dame was a notch above. Although in their playing, Notre Dame much better than Alabama. Although I still roll with the Tide, but not when they playing Notre Dame. I mean, Notre Dame is my team because that's just my home, and I got to root for the home team. Although they act like they wasn't ready to play. The first quarter, the first half of the football game, they act like they wasn't ready to play. Okay, and I don't now DeBoer. Before I get into anything, DeBoer, this may be his last season coaching at Notre Dame. I mean, I was coaching at because he on the hot seat. But I have to say that Marcus Freeman, who's the coach of Notre Dame, he gonna be on the hot seat anyway. Too. He on the hot seat too. I'm just saying, we Notre Dame and one thing about Notre Dame and Alabama football teams, we don't. If you get second place, you might as well be last. Okay. If you lose by 1 point or lose by 50 points, a loss is a loss. If you win by a point, you win. Whether it's 1 point or 10 points, don't make any difference. All you want is a W. So while everybody's getting over their depression, okay, now we're gonna give Alabama and we're gonna give Notre Dame this one loss. Okay, as long as they don't lose any more during the season, we can forgive this one. Okay. I mean, but Marcus, Marcus' only brother ever been a coach at the University of Notre Dame, which I love the brother. Good man. But if this season goes down the way, he going with it. Okay, because Notre Dame and Alabama don't play second place. Okay, so I mean, now as long as they do good the rest of the season, So this coming weekend is the Notre Dame's. We're going to start all over. Okay, in Alabama, we're going to start all over. Okay, and Auburn, I don't really care if Auburn wins or loses or not. Anyway, I don't care. I mean, I don't care about Auburn. Okay, so that's my sports announcement today. So as long as they figure out a way to win this weekend, all right, the season starts over. Okay, Saturday was just a prep. Okay, so we're gonna let them slide with that loss. Okay, I mean Notre Dame almost came back, but they just They don't seem like they forgot it was the first game of the season. They thought their name was Notre Dame, like Alabama thinks sometimes because you're Alabama that you automatically get a pass and you're automatically going to win. That may be in the days of yesteryear, but not today. Okay, not today. Not today. Let's see what the weather is. Okay, so if you get anything to say about that, you want to, that's fine. What's our number here? Our number is something. If you want to if you want to comment on you know Notre Dame or whatever you want to comment on, that's fine. Uh, yeah. Now that was a butt whooping for Bama. Don't let that slide. I'm not, but listen, matter of fact, all the Alabama teams lost this week. I mean, didn't it? Yeah. I mean, I don't know about UAB. I think UAB may have won. I'm not sure. Anyway, good morning to you. Hope this day finds all of you well. But I will say one thing about football season in America. It's like we go through a metamorphosis of sorts. We during football season, most of us are really a lot nicer than we are the rest of the year. We can beat our teams up, beat the other guy's team up, and we feel good about that. But when there is no football going on, all we do is beat each other up. Okay, that's what we do. We beat each other up, which is cool. Sometimes we need to beat each other up because sometimes we be stepping on it, all of us as a group of people. Okay, so didn't Auburn lose too? Or did they lose? Did Auburn lose? Did Auburn win? I can't remember. I don't know. I don't really pay Auburn much attention. I can't stand the uniforms. As a matter of fact, I think the uniforms. Actually, their uniform looks better than Alabama's, but it doesn't have the prestige of Alabama. Okay, I'm just saying. Anyway, moving right along to those things. Oh, Auburn won. Oh, well, War Eagle. Okay, then. War Eagle. But it doesn't matter if they can't beat Alabama. They can have a winning season. And they don't beat Alabama, they still suck. Okay. And Alabama too. If Alabama has a great season after this and they don't beat Auburn, they still suck. Okay. So you gotta beat your in-home, you gotta beat your home rival or your whole season down the drain. I don't care if you won the national championship. What people are gonna talk about is how they lost to Auburn, or how Auburn lost to Alabama. So, okay, that's our own little Super Bowl. Since we don't have a professional team, then that's our professional team. Okay, that's our professional team. You got to have sports talk along. Okay, yeah, I guess you do. I guess we do. Yeah. Well, I just thought I'd bring it up, I mean, we can do I'm not really a sports enthusiast. I mean, I like football. It's the only sport I like. And I like watching women's volleyball only because they got short shorts on. Other than that, I don't even look at the ball. So I said, "Whoa, look at that!" So anyway, moving right along. You gotta leave sports talk alone. Okay, I do. I'll let Longshore and Feinbaum and those other guys talk about sports because I'm not much of a sports enthusiast, but I do roll with the Tide and with the Irish. Okay, I did. So don't. Okay, that's my home. I got to talk about my home, but we certainly need to talk a little bit about Afghanistan and Iraq and things of that nature this morning. But before we do that, before we get into anything serious, let us see what the weather's going to be the rest of the day. I think it's kind of like fall, and I think we're getting there. Right now, outside it's 70 degrees outside this morning, and the high today is going to be around 86 degrees today. Rain showers this morning with some, because I don't sun's out, so maybe they're coming later on. I'm not sure. Rain showers this morning with some sunshine during the afternoon hours. So that's why you can't really go by the weather forecast sometimes, because now the sun's out there. Ain't no raining out there right now. But they said chance of rain is 60%, so it may be on the way. There's a 7% chance of rain this afternoon. Well, tonight, okay, a few passing clouds, and stuff like that. But other than that, look like we're gonna be all right. Okay. On tomorrow, a 15% chance of rain. Partly cloudy, a stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High around 86 degrees. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Now the historical high for today. At one time, it was 98 degrees. Then the historical low for today, September the 2nd, would be 60 degrees. Okay, so Sounds pretty good to me. Okay. The average for the day, though, is about 92 degrees. Okay. So that's your weather. Okay. Gotta leave sports talk alone. Come on, man. I'm a fan. Okay. I'm not a prognosticator. I'm just a fan, of the game. Okay, I don't sit around and bet on them. I mean, I just because a lot of people lost a little money this weekend. Okay, a lot of people lost a little money this weekend. That's why they don't have sports betting, because some people would have gave their grocery money. Some people would have been sleeping outside in a couple of weeks because they couldn't pay the rent. Okay, I'm just saying, now pay the rent first, pay everything first, and then what you got. Okay, and you know what? On my run for office, my platform is going to be now we won a lottery, we do, but my platform is going to be that gambler's card. Oh yeah, you got to have one to gamble in the state of Alabama, because when you have that card, you saying that you are not going to ask the state of Alabama for any groceries, help you pay the rent, help the light bill, and now the only sticking point at my proposition is that PCI may not check you for that card when you go in there. You know what I mean? But we'll find out. Oh yeah, we'll find out if you went in there. Yeah, we'll know. I mean, you can, because we'll send an investigator. Yeah, we'll send an investigator to see whether or not you was out there gambling. Okay, so that's what we are going to see, if you've been gambling. Right? And if you've been gambling, we ain't gonna give you no food stamps. We're not going to give you no food stamps. We're not going to help you pay your light bill. We're not going to help you do any of that stuff. Now, private organizations can, but the state's not going to be responsible for you and your gambling. So the gambler's card is on the table. Okay. The gambler's card is on the table. Okay. That's going to be one of my platforms. Okay. Let's stop going out getting broke and then asking everybody else for help. Okay. Because you were stupid with your money. All right. I know that machine out there. Is a it's kind of it'll trap you. All them nice lights going on. It's kind of like when the police get behind you. You ever notice how people get really scared when the police get behind you? Now I don't. I don't, unless I know I'm doing something. I don't. It don't bother me. But some people get really, really, really scared of the police. But anyway, move right along to other things. So I can't keep my mind on one thing. Okay. Now, the lesson of life today is this: wishing never made anyone successful. If there's a single lesson in life that teaches us that it is work, not wishing, that puts you in the right position. Let me say that one more time. Wishing never made anyone successful. If there is a single lesson that life teaches us, it is work, not wishing, that puts us in the right position. And the word of the day is lenient. 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 What does that mean? It means not harsh, severe, or strict. And tell me, and ladies and gentlemen, sometime in your life, you're going to be put in a position where you can show mercy for the what? To your kids, to your man, to your woman, whatever. And we need to do that. Okay. Because we all could use a little bit of leniency in our lives, and we also could all give some. Okay, I'm just saying you might want to think that in, Oh, now let me do this right quick. I forgot to put my telephone thing here. Okay, put that right there. Okay, there we go. Okay, there it is. Now my phone's working now. So anyway, moving right along. Now, as I've told you earlier, and before I get to the question of the day, man, some people got shot. But over the weekend, 53 people shot, 7 people dead in Chi-Town. But the Democrat mayor says that he doesn't need any help. Right? I mean, he's a Democrat, right? He don't need any help. Well, Chicago needs another mayor. Okay. That's why they call it Chirac. It's time to send the National Guard into Chicago, New York, and all these cities. And again, and here's the problem. Here is the problem. And whether anybody wants to admit it at all, the one thing about logic and reason is that you cannot, and we can, for a small city like we are, we're almost getting to that place too. You know, um, uh, I mean, we got our own National Guard, but something's going on in time and space here. I mean, 56 shot, 7 dead. That sounds like a combat zone. Well, hell, that is a combat zone. It sounds like someplace where you got to in Chicago. Everybody should be carrying a gun in Chicago right now. I think everybody is. You know, but it ain't doing as much good. Okay, there is a war. Okay, and the mayor of Chicago, which looks like an idiot, he's walking past the graveyard like there ain't dead people laying over there. Okay, there are dead people laying there, literally in Chicago. Okay, he is one of them. He is one of the many incompetent leaders that this country has that sits on the right side of the Democratic platter. I mean, it's crazy. Where do we get such men? Okay, wherever the hell we get them from, we need to put a blockade so we don't get any more of them. Something's wrong. Okay, I mean, Ronald Reagan once asked that question, but he asked that question about the men that quant the hole, about those men of Vietnam, about the young men and women who go to war for this nation, who go in harm's way, for the members who joined the 82nd Airborne, the Rangers, and all that stuff. Where do we get such men in every town in America? The problem is, where in the hell do we get these people? And Democrats put these people in power. I mean, the other day, somebody was asking the mayor of Chicago, well, do you think more police would help? He said, this word, we need more, we need to deal with housing. Okay, all right, yeah. He wouldn't say that he needed more help. I don't. Is there some political correct thing that you can't admit when you're being overrun by crooks? I mean, really? Is there something that's going on with that right there? I don't know, but anyway, 53 shot, 7 dead, and in Montgomery, we ain't doing much better. We're not doing much better. Yesterday, 2 injured in separate Montgomery shootings. We're not doing a hell of a lot better here. Montgomery police are investigating separate overnight shootings on Monday that left 2 people injured, including a juvenile. According to the police spokesman, officers responded to a car crash in the area of West April Street and Bowman Streets at 2 a.m. in the morning. Okay, at the scene, they found a juvenile male with life-threatening injuries from a gunshot wound. He was transported to the hospital for treatment. Then, just after 3 o'clock in the morning, police were called to a local hospital about a shooting victim, and officers made contact with a man who had non-life-threatening, disease. Now, again, you cannot blame. Here's the problem: you cannot blame. They're Democrats. You know they are. Okay. Yeah. What you think's opening Pandora's box? What the bettor's card, the gambling card? Oh no. You got to take some responsibility if you want to go out and if you want to go out and and gamble. I think that's what you're talking about. If you want to go out and gamble, this guy, you got to take responsibility for it. You lose your money, and we don't care if you lose your money. We just don't. Now you can go to your church, or you can go to your synagogue, or you can go to the place where you do mass, your Catholic space, to ask for some money, because tell them you need some help because you got a problem. That's fine, but you can't come to the state. You can't get free food stamps and all that stuff because you went out there. People are raising sand a couple of weeks ago because the state of Alabama said, well, now, if we're going to give you food stamps, or the federal government said, you can't be buying Doritos and things of that nature. Okay. Which makes sense to me because that's not what it's for. It's not for Doritos and Coca-Cola and all that stuff. It is for so you can get some healthy food. Now I will say one thing. Now I gotta be intellectually honest. Good food costs more than junk food. Okay, and I understand that. And if the government really wanted, and I don't know how you would do it, but if the government really wanted us to eat healthy, they would take the taxes up on junk food exponentially. Okay, and we can feel our because nobody needs beer. Nobody needs alcohol. Nobody needs, like me, my Milky Way candy bar. Don't need the Three Musketeers. Okay, don't need more Coke, but milk. You gotta have some milk. Yeah, Did y'all know that human beings are the only people, are the only species that drinks milk after they're grown? Everybody else let it go. I don't know where that. Uh, yeah, were the shooters Democrat? Of course they were. Of course. Come on, you know they were. Yeah, yeah. Of course they were. Okay, we're gonna leave that alone. We know who they. We know who's doing all the show. Hey, Greg, listen, man. I can. Are you telling me that I don't know enough about sports to talk about it? I know which team I like. That's all. I can watch a game. I can watch who is doing good and who is doing bad. But I say one thing: who is that? University of Florida? Who that boy? That boy? They cheated. They cheated. They cheated. They cheated. They cheated. That kid did not have control of that ball when he hit the ground. So that was not a catch. Okay, I'm just saying that was really not a catch. I mean, it was good acrobatics. It was good acrobatics. He did good, but he did not maintain control all the way to the ground. He did not. Okay, I'm just I'm gonna give a who did they play anyway? Um, isn't that it's what voter suppression? That's not voter suppression. Of course not. But anyway, so moving right along. So is Alabama because of the difference in population? Of course, the 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 environment is a little bit more dangerous in Chicago than it is here. Okay, it is what it is. Okay, it is what it is, and that gets me to my main question. And I really want some conversation on this morning. Okay, and I really, really, really want some conversation on this morning because this is the crux. This is the jux of our main problem right now in this country. And here is the question of the day: have we lowered the standards of responsibility in this country to the point that it is no longer part of the philosophical principles that this country used to stand for? Hard work, sacrifice, and discipline. We seem to have gotten rid of it. Something is wrong with our nation. And what do you folks think it is? From the clothes that we wear to the words that we speak to the things that we value. Is this a conversation this country needs to sit down with people and have? Have we lowered the standards of responsibility to the point that it is no longer part of the philosophical principles of hard work, sacrifice, and discipline? Something is wrong. And when you mention the word sacrifice and hard work, it's like something out of the past. It's like something, I mean, I don't know what to say. Okay. Even the words we speak now, we we live in a society where people in this country, for the time right now, we don't believe in many of the things that we used to believe in. I mean, we just don't. And I'm wondering how come. Okay. And I didn't realize that 6 people were involved in that the Dix woman. She was minding her own business in Montgomery, rolling down the street, and next thing you know, you end up paralyzed because these idiots are shooting. Yeah, and they're all Democrats too. Yeah, 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 yeah. 6 people arrested now in that shooting a couple years ago that paralyzed. I think her name is Dix. I mean, we just don't. We just. Whew, I just don't know what happened to us. What is happening to us? Because I think we've been so busy making excuses for our kids for their behavior or the lack of parenting, whatever, however you want to put it, until we don't recognize this nation anymore. Okay, it's what voter suppression. What? That's not voter. What? What vote? Why do we get? Well, somebody may say that. I don't care. Okay. But let's talk about the question. How have some of our social norms been lessened or loosened, however you want to say it? What? Well, dress codes. It used to be when you show up for work, you had to look good. I mean, it would be a shame. It would be a shame um, um, to walk around with your pants all down. And you know how I know that everybody know when they're walking around with their pants down that they're wrong, because when I look at them, okay, when they see me behind them, often sometimes, oh, it's the gray hair thing. They pull their pants up. They know it's crazy looking. They know it's stupid. Okay, and listen, and our music. Oh my lord, the music in this nation. I mean, and it's normally geared toward black kids. Okay, it is. Okay, I mean, white kids seem to know what's fake and what's real, and they'll get over they'll get over their little fakeness and go get a job, put on a suit, um, and go to work. Okay, but that music, yeah, the music executive, which most of them now I think are black in the rap game, they allowed the most vile and disgusting crap to corrupt young people who are reaping what we have sown. You absolutely are. That's why one day when Z was little, he I sent him out with my son, my oldest son, Emmanuel, and they went, they went. Listen, I don't know where they went, but he came back bopping and dopping and listening to rap music. And I looked at that and I said, whose kid is that? Is that Z? It couldn't have been. I mean, he was music. Rap music ought to have a label put on it, and they ought to pay extra tax, a vile tax on it. Okay, yeah, we ought to be because people gonna buy that crap anyway. So we might as well make money off them because we're gonna have to have extra money. So when they go to prison, we got to feed them. Okay, we're gonna have to have extra money. We got to feed them. I mean, we just got to feed them. So we ought to put a tax on rap, an additional tax on rap. It has been discovered that vile crap that we put out in the streets in America is turning the minds of our children into, and some of our people not children anymore. We're talking about 30-year-old, 40-year-old, up to 45-year-old men and women out here who think that they still 16 because that music gets in their head. I mean, that junk is terrible. Yeah, I can't do it. I mean, I'm still listening to the Manhattans. Okay, honey, you are my shining star. Okay, that's what I'm listening to. Okay, how about the Shallots? Oh, girl, I'll be in trouble if you left me now, 'cause I don't know where to look for love. I just don't know how. See, that's the kind of music. Okay, that's the kind of music that we need to be selling these days. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, or anyway, that was good stuff. Okay, how about ain't no woman like the one I get? Okay, I'm just saying that's the kind of music that makes you reach down deep into your soul. Even our gospel music now, I can't really tell it's gospel music. I mean, every once in a while they'll throw a God in there someplace, but other than that, I can't really tell. Okay, me, I'm listening to Luther Bonds and Shirley Caesar, people like that who you knew who they were talking about. I mean, now today's church song, you got to figure out who they talking about. Who y'all talking about? Who y'all singing about? Who y'all singing to? I don't know, but move right along. So the social norms ever since the 90s have been systemically changing in this country because the Democrats want it that way. Democrats don't want smart people voting. They don't want informed people voting. They want people who are like sheep or lemmings that will just follow the crowd. And in America today, all you have to do now, I'm not saying that it does not exist. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying does not exist. But boy, if you want to get the emotions of black folks up, bring in the word racist. Oh my lord, man! Listen, you after that, you can just go hide in the closet. You don't got to do nothing else and watch the consequences of using that word too often. Okay. Yeah. That's all you got to do. I mean, every election in Alabama, somebody's going to bring up a thing called the KKK, and you're going to get it in the mail, and they're going to lie on somebody and say, well, all he wants to do is put us back in put us back in the slave house, whatever the case may be. We can't even get the police to come to your side of town, and you think that somebody's going to put me in slavery? Okay. Oh yeah, put my phone number there. Yeah, okay. I mean, seriously, do you think? That I'm going to work for somebody in a slave in the year in the 21st century? Okay, then you don't have very much sense. I ain't mad at you though. Okay, I'm not mad at you. That's cool. All right. So anyway, move right on to other things. So the social norms have been loosened. Our dress codes are absolutely atrocious. Um, our speech and manners are less formal than in past decades. People feel freer to express themselves and their individuality. And there's nothing wrong with that, but there's a time and place for everything. Let me give you a story. There's an accounting firm. An accounting firm had hired 30 people. And this is a lesson in life. They hired 30 people. This is a real life story. And after they've been there for about a month, they knew there was a dress code and everything, but they started coming to work the way they wanted to come to work. Okay, they started to come to work. No tie, no suit, unbuttoned collar. And so there's a young lady who was the spokesman for the group. Okay, so she goes and tells the boss, here's a list of demands that we think you ought to consider. So they wanted Fridays off. They didn't want to wear a suit. Certainly didn't want to wear a tie. And so he took the list, looked at the things that were on the list, and the next morning he came in and he fired all of them. And they all were surprised. Yeah, he fired people whose name wasn't even on the list, who didn't even sign the list, because he knew that once that poison pill infects their work environment, it is going to affect everybody. So he fired 30 new hires. They've been there 30, 45 days. He fired them all because they wanted to come in there and change what they knew was working. It's an accounting firm. You don't look like a Slappy Joe's Rib Shack when you come to work. You just don't do that. It's like people in the military showing up out of uniform. There's a uniform of this that goes with this job, and in civilian job, it is a uniform, which is a suit coat, sport coat, a tie, and that's the way you look. Now we ought to do something about these skinny pants thing to make all the guys look homosexual. Okay, I'm just telling you, that's just the way it looks to me. Okay, homosexual. You got to wear them shirts. I mean, I don't even know how they get their pants on. And what my thing is that who comes up with the wardrobe? Who comes up with the crap that our young people are wearing? I mean, they look like homosexual. I mean, how now if you're real skinny, I got you. But how do you get these pants? Listen, today when you go out, look around you, look at the young man, how the pants legs are. I don't know how they get their feet in them, and they only come up like to their thigh. So they purposely buy pants that don't come up on their butt. I don't understand why. Okay. But anyway, so who are we, followers or are we leaders? It looks like anytime they want to test something, okay, it looks like anytime they want to test a product out, they bring it to the hood. Okay, let's put this over there. Let's put these skinny suits over there. They ain't got to look like men anymore. They can look like somewhere between a man and a wannabe woman. That's why you give them a skinny suit, okay? So it shows the outlines of their physique. Okay, all right, I'm with you. I'm with you. Okay. So again, my question today is: have we changed the expectations of our society. Now we already know that the dress code is going to hell in a handbasket, and even in public school, we got a dress code in public school. But you go to the public school sometimes, they're not even in their own dress code. So I'm just saying to myself, well, what's up with this? Where is Joe Clark when you need him? And speech, my lord, we are calling women bruh. Hey, bruh. I mean, we're calling women the male with the male appendage. Okay, bruh, brother. Now, really, do we not teach biology in high school? Do we not teach them the difference between male and female? Maybe that's why they're all confused. Okay, and I'm not blaming the kids. We blaming the adults. Do we have any adults out there that want to see a better America? Okay, so the question is whether America is less disciplined than it used to be. And I think, and some people say, well, I mean, what do you mean by discipline? Well, personal habits, the social norms, the work ethic, the respect for authority, or national cohesion. Cohesion. Do we have a national cohesion? I think we're losing it. I think we are. I think we are. We could be a lot better. Here's the only thing that I know that we are cohesive on. During football season, we are cohesive and roll with the tide. Okay, do or die. We're gonna roll with the tide. We're gonna roll with the Irish. We're gonna roll with War Eagle. If we could figure out how to put some of that motivation, that discipline, because that's discipline. You know, one of the you can tell a lot about a football team if they're disciplined or not. They'll probably win more games. But for some reason, we like what discipline does for our football team, but we don't really like what it does to our school. It will have the same effect. You'll have an A team and a B team. Okay, you have A team and a B team, and even in school, even in the classroom. Okay, because it's all a game. It's all a game. It's a game where the best leave and go on to better careers and better people, and the losers, well, they end up at the governor's 4,200 bed prison. So take your pick. Take your pick. Which one you want to go to? Okay. Again, is America a less disciplined country than it used to be? Now, the South, I keep hearing things about, well, you know, when I was coming up, anybody in the neighborhood could whoop us. Well, I don't believe that, but okay, I hear you. Now, I'm all for discipline, but I don't think I don't want nobody just reaching out the house, smacking your kid, bam. You know, man, you talk too loud walking past my house. Okay, see, we're gonna have a conversation with that one. But that's what they keep telling. In other words, one of the things that every successful person says is about discipline. You'll never meet a successful person who says, I'm successful because I was not disciplined. Michael Jordan had the discipline to, even though he missed a lot of shots. He missed a lot of them. He said he missed a whole lot more than he made. But people don't remember the misses. They remember the ones you made, especially when you make them. And it takes discipline to miss a lot, but still be brave enough, have the tenacity to shoot again. That's discipline. Okay, because you know you ain't gonna miss them all. You may miss a lot, but you won't miss them all. Okay, and here's another thing: a decline in institutional trust. Oh, that's a good one. Respect for authority. We seem to have lost that. Now, I don't know if the authorities are responsible for that or not. You know, I don't know. I get so tired of seeing these things where police want to bust your window out your car and yank you out the car because you don't want to get out your own car. Okay. Well, and I understand that, you know, but listen, me, I'd rather get out the car, go to court, than get an ass whooping right down the street. Okay. I just listen, taking a butt whooping, excuse me, taking a butt whooping, it's just not in my cards for me today, you know, and evidently, you know, police are a a paramilitary organization, which means they use some of the same tactics that the military does. They have sergeants and officers and all that kind of thing. So there's a hierarchy of command. And when you are stopped by the police, well, you're the private. Okay. Not only does that mean private citizen, but you pretty much a private too. You right at that particular moment, shut up and just listen to what the guy says. Because now the question is the lack of respect for authority, is that because of the police? Well, it'll have to come from people who know more than I do. But is that why there's such a lack of respect for authority? And that's teachers, police, government leaders, even clergy has eroded, which looks like to me it's a lack of discipline. So how do we get here? How do we get out of here? How do we make us a better country? I do not know, but I know one thing. If something doesn't change in with this next generation coming up, uh, if we come back from heaven and take a look down here, we won't notice this is America. We won't know what country this is. Okay, self control. Um, it's not unusual to have somebody putting up a video with somebody fighting. I mean, as a matter of fact, now it's even gotten worse. Now we putting up videos where people are shooting at each other, like at the OK Corral. Okay, the social norms have loose. Now we got young folks going in stores stealing, and they ain't even trying to hide who they are. No, they'll walk in the guy's store and steal, and then blame the guy for catching them. And then they'll say, "You're a racist." The hell, I'd be racist too. His brother's stealing all my stuff. Okay, I'm just saying that thing does cost money. So have we? Again, I ask the question: have we did away with discipline, hard work, and commitment? Except in football teams. In football teams, we still expect that. We expect discipline. We expect respect. Matter of fact, even if you lose to somebody, they make you shake his hand because that's just respect. Sometimes it ain't whether you win or lose; it's how you play the game. Well, life is a game, and how you play it will determine whether or not you're halfway successful in it. It is it's a tough game. As a matter of fact, and you're not the only one playing. Other people playing the same game you're playing. They're trying to survive. They're trying to live. So, what are we doing? Is it too late? Do we have to write off a generation of kids, a generation of people, of adults, because they forgot what the social norms used to be? And I tell people often, let's take our dress. There are often people around this town. You better not show up with a pair of blue jeans on, especially if you're a lawyer. Even in the courtroom, the crook's got to look halfway decent, unless he's got on the jumpsuit from the jail, which is a sign of disrespect. They don't respect him very much because they make him go there looking like a crook. So, but they expect you as an employee. They expect you to come there well dressed, because the way you dress often is the way you act. Okay, it is what it is. Okay, let me put you this way: if I'm sending the 82nd Airborne in someplace and we all got 3-piece suits on, no guns, no nothing, we just got shine shoes on and we got a 3-piece suit on and we coming out of the airplane, is anybody going to be scared of the 82nd? No, not at all, because the way you dress is the way you act. But if you come there with your battle dress uniforms on, with your fatigues on, you strapped to the max with your M60s, your M16s, your 45, whatever it is you got to tell, and ready to rumble, people take you more seriously. Well, it's the same thing out here. It's a different environment, but the same. But people respect you the way you dress. I mean, even when you go to white churches, they don't care about you wearing suits all the time, but they do want you to come to church looking like you came to church, looking like you came there to serve the Lord. They don't expect you to be there in flip flops and all that stuff. It's a matter of respect, and I think we have lost the respect. Now, y'all tell me if y'all disagree with anything. You please call me. It's a call in show. I really want to know what the problem is with us. Okay. But this one's a big one here. The decline in institutional trust. We seem to not really respect much of anything anymore. We really don't. We let you get away with whatever you want to do because it's you are free to express your individuality. But sometimes you're part of a team, whether it's in the classroom, in the military, at work, you're part of a team. Your individual goals are fine, but they must be connected to the goal of the team, not just your goal. Okay, 521-2963. Now, listen. I know you guys have seen this stuff going on in this nation. I know you have. But see, right now, y'all acting kind of like wusses. Okay, you don't want to say anything, but but it is what it is. Oh Lord, and then let's get down to the technology and instant gratification. I mean, think about that one. Smartphones, social media, on-demand entertainment can encourage distraction and other impatience compared to older generation who had very few options. So there was a couple of court cases in our court system that surprised me in their ruling. And one, oh, tell you about that in a second. Good morning.
Morning, Sergeant Elkins.
Morning.
So you were speaking of the complete disregard for, I think you were saying norms.
Social norms, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But what's your thoughts about the disregard for political norms? Do you have as much an issue with that?
Wait a minute. The thing about politics, who's ever in charge get to make the rules.
But there have been some norms, even though there have been rules.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you had like you said, that every administration has the authority to make changes, but this particular administration has done it different than we've done it for 250 years.
Well, you
don't think that's true?
I don't know exactly what you think that he has done that's been so outlandish and so disconnected from the past.
You don't know?
No,
so you think that he has, but let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this administration has done similar things than both Bushes, Reagan? I mean, do you think that this administration have put the best people in positions?
Wow, the word
cabinet members.
The word best.
The best and the brightest. We're going to hire the best people. We're going to have. Do you think that we have people leading agencies now, Kevin, that are the best people?
Here's what I think, and this is strictly me. I think we've gone so far to the edge of the cliff until when a guy's hanging on by a rope, you've got to do whatever you got to do in your mind to bring him to bring him out of that disaster. I think we've allowed America to go so far until it seems that the things that are being done today are outlandish because of what we've got to do to bring us back.
We're talking about norms, Kevin. I mean,
but what does norm mean? Right. But what does norm mean politically?
I think most people, okay, like for you, you're talking about young boys with their butt showing, with their pants down. The norm is to have so they may say in their culture, the norm is for them to wear them down low. So you have a problem with the pants sagging, but in their culture, that's the norm. But you and I say that's not the norm. So if we start to move the definition on what's acceptable behavior, we are trouble.
And we are in trouble because we are in trouble.
Because nobody wants to say a man is a man or a woman is a man. What I'm saying to you, Kevin, is you ought to be able to you ought to be able to call balls and strikes. Don't go for the home team. Don't go for the visitor. Just call like you see it.
But that's politics, right? But politics. You ever notice that sometimes when people get out of office, we find out what really happened. We find out what was really going on.
No, I don't, because when George Bush was in office, I mean, I like W. Bush, not Jr. You haven't heard anything. He's been really silent since he's left office. But you haven't heard any scandals when this man left office, Kevin.
Just because you don't hear them, don't mean they didn't happen.
You said we find out. So you changing the goals again.
No,
you said you ever notice when people leave, we find out what really happened?
We find out.
Now you say, well, because we didn't find out. You made the argument that when people leave, you find out.
Well, we do sometimes. Sometimes. Now, sometimes we'll never find out.
Okay. Well, but you made the point. Okay, let me ask you this other thing, and I'm gonna get out. This lady that breached the Capitol, this Air Force veteran that was killed,
and only one killed that day.
Yeah, but do you agree restoring full military orders and doing? You agree that
I agree
as a military veteran?
I agree with that. Her service to this nation. No, her service to she wasn't in the Air Force then. Her service to this nation had nothing. She served so she could protest if she wanted to. I don't think that shooting her dead.
Protesting with her with the crash. That was protesting.
Yeah, that was protest. Did not the Constitution say we have a right to redress grievances to our leaders?
Again, you're talking about destroying norms. You're definitely destroying them.
Well, all norms ain't necessarily good, but most of them.
I agree. I agree. Jackson, Mississippi.
All right.
Memphis, Tennessee.
What about them?
Do they have high crime rate? High crime, high murder rate?
Jackson? I don't remember seeing Jackson on the top.
Google,
I did the top 20.
Google. Oh, you didn't see Jackson in top 20? I don't know what stats you looked at. Look at Jackson, Mississippi. Look at Memphis, Tennessee, and their crime rate.
I know Memphis is out of control.
They rival Chicago, sir. But because they are red states, I don't hear anything about the National Guard going to Memphis, Tennessee, because it's a red state.
Now, when you
say anything about them going to Jackson, Mississippi, it's a red state. We only want to go to states that have Democrats.
Because most again, the highest crime cities, we're talking about not states, cities in this country are ran by Democrats. That is an absolute fact.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying the governor of the state is a red state. You don't want to go in and make your governor look bad in Tennessee. You don't want to make your governor look bad in Mississippi.
Well, I don't really blame governors. I blame the cities, because the governors
but the White
and
the White House don't either.
Yeah, governors don't run cities. Now I guess it's responsible. I guess for law and order if it's not being carried out like in Chicago.
So who brought the crime force to Montgomery with was it the Attorney General to Montgomery that brought the?
Now, according to there's a lot of mixed opinion about who did it. Was it the mayor or was it the governor who said? I really don't know.
You just said governors don't run cities, sir.
Governors don't run cities, but they can intervene if good law and order seems to be gone. And it does seem to be gone in Chicago, Washington, D.C.
So the governors have not intervened in Memphis, a red state. The governor has not intervened in Jackson, Mississippi, a red state. They'll send the National Guard to D.C., but they won't bring the National Guard to their own city that are having high crime.
Will you agree that Washington, D.C., out of all the cities in America, is a special place? It's where diplomats come. Diplomats were killed in Washington, D.C. in May, 2 of them.
No, I think anytime you got citizens that are terrorized in their city, now you're starting to value one place over another. If that mother and that father lose a son or a daughter, you're prioritizing lives over other lives, which is, again, you tend to move the goalpost to suit your argument. If you were a citizen in Jackson, Mississippi, or if you were a citizen in Memphis, Tennessee, and your children were slaughtered on a weekend basis,
somebody would be held accountable.
But the president don't mention those two cities.
Wait a minute, but the president we have governors and we have mayors of these cities. DC is the capital of this nation. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm going to make sure that our
I'm just
window.
saying, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Right.
And somebody else may call in. I'm just saying, call balls and strikes. Just call balls and strikes. Don't look the other way for the visitor team and call it for the home team. That's all I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying being consistent. And what I see is inconsistency. That's why I talk about norms. Norms is being consistent to what we have always had. SOPs in the military. We call them standard operating procedures.
Right. SOP. Right. Exactly.
And it shouldn't change because you a first sergeant that came in and want to do it your way.
Right.
Because you think that, SOPs is standard operating procedure.
But also we have wait a minute, don't forget the other term, exception to policy. Okay? We do have exceptions to policies.
We do.
And exception here is in Washington, D.C. It's the capital. It is a shining light to this country. And when you got idiots walking down the street robbing the Secret Service.
I'm not disagreeing with you, sir. Oh. I'm not disagreeing with that. Oh. I'm not. I'm just saying let's be consistent because
I can't.
He says we're coming to Chicago next.
They need to. They got 56 people shot the other day and 7 killed.
I'm not disagreeing. Coach, you're not familiar with Jackson, Mississippi, and Memphis,
my mama. Actually, my mama from Jackson. But
Google the stats.
Yeah, I will.
Audience.
I do that.
Google the stats on Jackson.
Because the governor, then, if it's that bad,
there,
the governor should bring. I agree with you. The governor should bring out the National Guard. If it's that bad, then bring.
And I'm not. In the last one I'm gonna make, and I'm gonna get off because some other callers want to call on, is crime goes by per capita, not the 57. So if per capita is what they look at when you're talking about that.
Right. One in every.
So look at Jackson, Mississippi per capita, and look at Memphis, Tennessee per capita, and then I'll let you deal with it from there. But I'm agreeing with you with norms.
Right.
Thanks for taking the call.
Right. But wait. Appreciate it. I just don't. No. Yeah, Don. Don.
Willie Durham he irks me so damn bad. It's just pathetic. I mean, that red state. Hey, who's in charge of Washington D.C. by the Constitution?
Actually, the Congress is.
Yes. So Willie, they went there because he's in charge of it. Hey, Willie, have they been to Chicago? Is there any troops in Chicago right now? Are they, Kevin?
No, not at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold it. Milton, hold on a second. Let me go back there for 1 second. Hold it. Okay, go ahead. Wait a minute. Okay, go ahead, Don. Wait a minute.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, Willie, if it makes you feel better, all those cities are run by Negroes who got rid of their police and nobody will work for them. Like the city of Montgomery, nobody wants to work for Mayor Reed because nobody supports him. He don't support the police. That's why people ride down the streets without fear of any kind of ticket. Willie, you're so sick. I mean, it's pathetic. You got Trump syndrome so damn bad, you ought to get a doctor.
All right, man. It's always good. Milliner.
What's going on?
What's going on, man? I'm trying to hold it down here.
I heard. Are you holding it down? I'm enjoying the show so far, man. On the topic of the who's that just called in? Was that Willie?
One of them was Mr. Durham. Yes. Then the other
okay. Yeah. He was the one. He was the one talking about the consistency and norms, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Man, he said a whole lot. He kept on moving the goalposts on what he was talking about because every time he would say something, then you would respond to him. He would move it to a different area of focus. But that's interesting. But what he was talking about with Jackson, he's right. Jackson, Mississippi, in 2021 or 2022, had per capita one of the highest homicide rates in the world. they had like 130 homicides that year. And mind you, Jackson, Mississippi is only a city of like 150,000 people. So yeah, that's like astronomical. But he was talking about how come the focus is not on blue cities and red states, right? That's what he was saying, correct?
Right.
So there again, why move the goalpost, right? Because if the common denominator is blue cities, right? So whether it's in a red state, a blue state, a purple state, doesn't matter. It's these cities with high crime rates, they're blue cities. So it's interesting, he didn't name one red city in the cities that he named in red states. He didn't name one red city that had high crime. Interesting. I wonder why that is. Maybe because there are not red cities with high crime rates. Huh. Isn't that a thought?
Now that is, I mean, what that is. And I've been trying to, and I put the word, okay, tell me a city that is ran by a Republican that has the same type of collateral damage and the disregard for life. Just give me one city.
They don't exist. That like the reason why they can't name one is because they don't exist. And let's look right here in Alabama. You know, a red state. All right, we got the biggest city in the state, Huntsville, which has been the biggest city since 2021. They had like a year or two ago. I just shared it a few days ago. They had 19 homicides. Montgomery had 75 that same year. Let's put that in perspective. The biggest city in the state, run by is a red city, Republican mayor, Tommy Battle. 19 homicides, over 215,000 people that live there. Montgomery, not even 200,000 people that live here. We had 75. Blue city.
Because there is, and again, I think you'll agree, most people, there is a cultural war going on in this nation that is not serving us well. And
that's right.
And we get to the point now where life is just not that important to some people. They have been brainwashed to think that it's not my fault. Well, you cannot get a job sitting there on a corner and expecting the job to come to you. Okay. Okay, let me get to. Anyway, I don't know, man. I don't know. So
well, let me say one more thing, because he did say this about, he was talking about Trump, right? He said Trump is doing abnormal decision making, right? As president, he's doing things that no president's done in 250 years, right?
Right.
So I love that you said that he's having to undo a lot of things that the radical left had done before he got in office.
And we went
right.
We went right to the edge of the curve. We almost to the edge.
It's always interesting how they focus on what Trump does, but he completely ignored the fact that Obama and Biden administrations pushed us so far to the left with all this gay marriage, LGBT plus recognition and acceptance and all that crap going into schools and whatnot. Like, so is all that normal to him as well? Because he skipped all that to go to Trump, saying Trump is doing things that's out of the norm. Sir, the Democrat Party does things out of the norm every day.
Yeah, well, I hear you, brother. All right. Hey.
Yeah, man. But anyway, keep on rocking, man. I'll be watching.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well,
good morning.
Hey, man. All right. Hey.
Yeah, man. But anyway, keep on rocking, man. I'll be watching.
Turn down the radio when you turn down your thing when you call there, Mr. Stein.
Mr. Elkins.
Yes.
But this old Trump supporter just got off of here. See.
Yeah.
But my first question to you, Kevin. What happened to your Notre Dame boys?
Well, they got the butt whoop, but they play better than Alabama.
But my thoughts and prayers go out to Alabama, if I can steal that from the Republican for a little while. Okay. My thoughts and prayers go out to them, because one boy throwing a damn bird on the national TV, embarrassing the state of Alabama. Although I'm an Auburn fan, he embarrassed the damn state with that crap right there.
Well, the embarrassment. Wait a minute. The embarrassment was losing like that.
But what I'm saying, but for him to like a little kid up there throwing birds to the national TV, like he,
and that's what we're talking about. If that had been Bear Bryant, If that had been Bear Bryant, you shot a bird on national TV, you'd been on the bench for a minute.
No, I'm talking about the fans in the stand did it. The cameraman.
Oh, well, that's okay.
You know how they put the picture on them sad faces when they get their ass whipped.
Yeah,
okay. They put the camera on this dude, man. He threw a bird. Okay, but back to Chicago. Yeah. Back to Chicago, Kevin.
Yes, sir.
Who did the shooting in Chicago?
Your brothers and cousins.
How you know?
Oh, because I did some research over the weekend.
So does this guy have mental illness problem? That's what.
It ain't just one.
I'm asking, do these individuals have mental illness problems? That's the focus now. That's been the focus the past week, Kevin.
Yeah, well, wait a minute.
When the guy did the shooting, let me talk first. Can I talk first?
Okay. Well, I think they all got mental problems.
I know that, but when the guy when the white dude went in the school and shot up the kids last week, that's the first thing came out of these damn Republican mouth. He got mental illness problems. So let's attach that to the brothers in these hoods.
Now let's be fair. Now they have been finding that all of these young men who think they want to be girls are taking the same.
No, we ain't talking about transgender boy. Nope, that's a lie right there on all of that. So y'all wants to make all of them sisters now. All the ones that killed the people in South Carolina wasn't no damn sister. Yeah, they took his ass to McDonald's. Come on now. Let's get back on track here.
We're not talking about that guy. I'm telling you, and just give me.
You talking about the pattern.
Wait. Let me just get my word out, then I'll let you finish. Okay, I'll let you just give me word out. What they have found is that most of these people, a lot of these people taking these transgender medications are out here doing. Put you on hold for a second. Are out here doing all kinds of things, and most of them end up shooting somebody. So there is something to this that you cannot change. Anytime you try to change nature, nature's going to bite you back. Now go.
Yeah, what's going on? You got some music keep coming on. What's up?
Yeah, because I had you on hold, so I get my word, my word across. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, because you long-winded though with that nonsense. Go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Okay. My thing is, dude, that how you know these individuals in the hood, hey, not transgenders, but no, they call them thugs right off the bat. But when it comes to the white guys, they got mental illness problems. Okay, all of them are sisters that they claim had mental illness problems. Now let's get that understood, sir. So back to old brother man just got off the air a while ago with that nonsense he was talking about. Okay. We know that every city got Negroes in them, right, Kevin?
Yeah, we do.
Huh? Every city got them in there. Okay, Memphis got them. Jacksonville, Florida got them. I think a Republican, a mayor down in Jacksonville, Florida, dude. But anyway, you got them all over the world. And most of them, the crime goes on in the housing projects, okay? In the bad side of town. And you know, with the good blacks here, like old homeboy just got off the phone, he living good amongst the white folks. So he living in a good neighborhood. So, but when you got all these guys on welfare and property and all this stuff going on in this neighborhood, sure, you're going to have all this stuff going on. But when it comes to crime, when every city got this going on, they got a thing they go by to wean out the worst cities first, okay?
Don't hang. Hold on, Sam. I got to grab this. Don't go nowhere. I'll get right back with you. Okay. All right, now go ahead.
You got every city like Memphis, and I like to say you name them all. That I read the chart that the top 10. I read the top 10. Arkansas was amongst the top 10. Memphis was amongst the top 10. Okay. Mm-hmm. Chicago maybe amongst the top 10. But what I'm saying, I will start from the top. The worst first, okay? The guy said Jackson, Mississippi, so many murders, however many it was down there. Start there first. That's my point. Y'all keep on hollering about, they want to be political about it. Talking about the black city, blue city, green city, and yellow city. Damn all of that. Let's go where the worst is first, okay? Like the football teams do. When they rank teams, they go by the so-called top best. Texas wasn't the damn best. The weekend, hell. Yeah. But anyhow, they go by the best first, don't they, Kevin?
Yeah. Well,
football.
What they did.
If you're in the top 10 or top 25, you don't get on the list, right?
Right. And then,
like Alabama was put at number 8.
Right.
And Florida State wasn't even on the map. Yeah. But what happened?
Yeah, well, that's
Huh?
true sometimes.
So they got them. Some they have to measure things by the. They got a measurement by crime and everything else. But when it comes to the Republican states, they don't want to touch the top 10. Why? That's what the hell.
It
So
ain't the
I'm making the point
state.
for Brother Man.
Right,
Since
but
Brother
it's
Man
not.
that understood Mr.
Okay,
Dorn a while ago,
okay.
since he didn't understand.
Y'all get it wrong. It is not the state that people are complaining about. It's these cities that are ran by.
That's what I'm talking about. I just told you, Kevin. Didn't I just tell you that?
So it's not the state.
I'm where you are. We're there. We're there right there. We agree on that part. Okay.
That's good.
We know Negroes acting up in all cities around the world, even the small city of hell where I came from. The boy doing drive by down the street.
And so why is that? But why is that? Why is that?
They got mental illness problem like the white kids, I guess.
They got mental illness
problem.
problem.
To go to McDonald's.
Well, the mental illness, I think, is a fictitious. It's a fictitious syndrome of sort because they do it because they never had to answer for their crime.
I know that, but go on down to Arkansas first, Mr. Trump. Go on down to Jacksonville to take care of all these states first, and let Governor Ivan take care of Birmingham up there with Bessemer and Birmingham. Hell, invite them down here, Miss Ivan.
All right, appreciate it, Boogie Ray. Boogie Ray. Boogie. Oh, Boogie.
What's up, Elkman?
What you got on your mind?
Okay, Elkman. In your comments the other day, somebody asked you to compare the crime statistics of Springfield, Illinois, which is 83% white, versus Chicago. Okay? Did you do that?
No, I didn't. I don't remember that conversation.
Okay, I think it was from Mr. Chip Hill. Anyway, Kevin, if you do your research, Springfield, Illinois is 83% white.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
It has a higher average crime rate than Chicago, Illinois. Okay? The cultural appropriator that came on before that cultural appropriator, he was bringing up Huntsville versus Montgomery. Okay, Kevin, can we agree that two of the leading factors that contribute to high crime are income and poverty level?
No, that's an excuse.
Yes, we can. No, okay, well, okay, if it's an excuse. Huntsville's average salary is $20,000 more than Montgomery.
Okay.
Okay? They have a much lower poverty rate. So, Kevin, if you do your research, you will know that two of the leading indicators of all your high crime areas have two things in common: low income and high poverty rates. My next question, Kevin, who's in charge of the National Guard?
Well, the National Guard comes under the Department of the Defense, but in each state is the governor.
Okay, so Kevin, let's use these blue cities and red states, St. Louis, Missouri. Okay, let's use these. Is that fair?
Sure.
Okay. If you are so concerned about the high crime rates in those cities, why have they not acted before and waited 20, 30, 40 years till this guy in the White House comes along and use it? If you were that concerned, if your crime is that out of control in your state, why have they not acted before?
Listen. That's a great question. That's a great question to ask. And mainly, okay, can I be honest? Can we be honest?
Yeah, well, we know what you're going to say, but
no. But you know where I'm going. Okay, first of all, most of the cities, 90% of these cities are populated by black people. Well, all the crime is in this country, but predominantly is done by black folks. If, in fact, that all the governors started to put in the National Guard out, they would be called the worst racists. We going back to slavery. Somebody tell me where the boat is so we can ship them back to Africa. That's why it's a political thing with these guys. It ain't a criminal thing. So they let the local.
What you're saying, Kevin? Yeah. So what you're saying is crime really doesn't matter because you're worried about being labeled.
Oh, that's what politicians are. But the guys,
if we're concerned about crime in these predominantly black cities, it says two things. We don't care that blacks are being killed in these cities, or
Can
we're too afraid to step up and do anything.
Now let me ask you a question.
Because, Kevin,
wait. Let me ask you a question. If the black people who live in those cities don't care about their city or their citizens,
who says they don't care?
Why-
Who says they don't care?
well, they ought to be down at the White House right now, or wherever house they got to go to, in mass, telling the people there who are supposedly in charge, we are tired of this. Okay. Right now,
so when you bring in the National Guard, is that a permanent solution or a temporary?
It's supposed to be a temporary solution. Not certainly not.
It's a temporary solution.
Right.
So we go back. These governors in these red states, you really don't care about crime, Kevin. And by the way, Kevin, when did crime become a color?
Become a what?
See, it becomes a color when you want to make some non-existent political point to demean, degrade, and devalue the life of black folks. No, I'm talking. Okay, Kevin. You know what? Have a good one.
See, I think you can absolutely prove of all the cities with the highest murder rates, the highest poverty, the highest whatever negative connotation you want to give it to, it's easy to see who populates the city, who the preponderance of the population is. I believe that it's partly because we have been lulled to sleep by Democrats telling us it ain't your fault. It's not your fault. We know how and poverty does not create crime. Crime creates poverty. Okay. Nobody wants to do business in a community where they rob in the stores every day and all they can say is that, well, my daddy wasn't home, which and this and all of this can be related to the lack of daddies in our homes as black folks. Okay, lack of daddy involved with their children. That's what most of the. I guarantee you, if you go downtown to the jail right now and ask them, "Do you have a relationship with your father?" Most of them say no. So if we want to be honest with it, we have a moral crisis in our communities, and most of the time we look in the mirror, and part of that crisis is us. Okay. But you have to stay in contact with your children. Your children grow up to be grown people, young people, and then they go out. They have no discipline. They have no dad there to punch them in the chest when they get wrong. So now they punching us in the chest. I mean that's just common sense. You cannot raise all these kids with no discipline and don't expect the consequence. Dr. Joe.
Elk Dog.
Yes.
Now your buddy Booger Ape. If let me just say this, and you know this to be the truth. If it was white people killing all those people in Chicago or Montgomery, they'd be out marching and boycotting and all kind of stuff, wouldn't they?
Absolutely.
But if it's black on black, Democrat on Democrat, they're the ones don't care. They're the ones don't care. It ain't the white people that don't care. Trump cares about them shooting everybody. But like the other caller said, Trump has not taken over but one city, and that's because it is a federal city. He hadn't taken over Chicago. He ain't taken over Birmingham or any of those. So all these people with Trump derangement syndrome, they just need to go chill out and get them a drink and settle down. That's what they need to do. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, and again, if we're intellectually dishonest enough to think that Washington D.C. holds more consequence for it politically than any other state, any other city in this country, then we're not being honest.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. How many murders happen in Montgomery and how many protests and laying on the ground, wallowing on the ground, saying I can't breathe and all that kind of bull crap goes on. But you won't see it.
Yeah.
Because it's black on black. If a white person had done it now,
Well, we'd have been in March. And again, you can't expect respect. Like I told some young men outside my house a couple of months ago. So listen, you riding around playing all this music that's devoid of any kind of goodness in it, and you want respect. I said you cannot get respect until you start respecting yourself.
Yeah, I agree. And talking about norms, it ain't the norm over in Wind Lakes to wear your pants down below your ass.
No, it's not. It's not. It's only the norm in certain communities. I mean,
yeah, it ain't the norm to use the N word in Wind Lakes, is it?
No, it's not.
But guess where it is?
Well, we know where it's at.
We know where it's at.
We know where it's at. Now, the question I have though, why is it the norm?
Well, you tell me. I'm not about it.
Well, I think
they're the ones using it.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of years ago, your buddy Boyd William Boyd got all fired up because he claimed that some of the Lanier players were called, or the N word was used during that Lanier ball game. Well, guess what? It was probably used by the Lanier players because I told you I lived over in the Lanier at the time. I lived in the hood, and when I'd ride by when they was playing basketball, guess what word I heard them use?
Yeah,
the N-word.
But wait a minute. But they use GA and not ER on N.
No, they didn't.
Oh, they didn't. Oh, okay.
And there ain't no difference in it either.
I don't believe so either. That is the most intellectually devoid statement I've ever heard. Oh well, we use NA rather than ER.
Yeah, if I called them the NA word, they'd still get mad, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they still get mad.
But I'm like Charles Barkley. I'm not going to let people tell me what words I can and cannot use, and what flags I cannot fly, and what songs. If I want to play Dixie, I can play Dixie.
Yeah. All right.
And I still got some Confederate underwear, and it ain't coming down either.
Well, let's hope not. All right.
Long may it wave. All right. Bye.
Appreciate it. Long may it wave. Now look here, man. I listen. Didn't I just did enough for you a few minutes?
It's something I forgot to tell you, man. That shooting in Georgia. That shooting in Georgia where the guy shot these three little thugs that I'm gonna call them thugs this time.
Oh yeah.
Is okay? Are these mental illness brothers that went in there and tried to rob this man and they got killed? Okay. And they got the super their parents want this dude arrested.
I know. And that's
bullshit, parent. And throw ass down.
Yeah, exactly.
Because to me now that's where you said the daddy are not in the home, but the government, the white government told parents that you can't whoop them anymore. Said make the little ass stand in the corner or put them in time out.
Wait. No parent.
You can't hear them anymore, Kevin.
That's not true. That is not true.
You can hear them, but you go to ass to jail because the kids already threatening the parents. I know my rights.
The state of Alabama said you can use corporal
punishment on your child. Huh? Well, try it then. Try it.
I did try it.
Leave a whelp for your child, and she or he go to school with a whelp on him. See where your ass end up at.
But I did do that. I did.
But back to that shooting in Georgia. See these parents like that. See these women trying to raise these boys. They have man. I think the daddy was involved in one of them. He hooping and hollering. Why you asking hoop and holler when the son was out there assing around the street all the time? I'm like, what the hell your 60-year-old doing at 4 o'clock in the morning to start with?
Yeah, well, and I forgot to bring up one about them boys, and it makes
But that heifer that didn't do peaceful protesting at the Capitol cabin, she don't deserve no damn military funeral.
I think she does.
Her thing wasn't peaceful. They said peaceful protest. She went in there trying to get the Mike Pence and hang his ass. What's up with that?
Wait. If she was in the had still been in the military at the time, I'm with you. She's getting the honor because she served this nation honorably. Now,
but they had a big general on TV this morning saying that that's disrespecting their honor.
Well,
okay, because this lady participated in violence and
she wasn't violent.
Property. She went in there hitting the shit, trying to break in with the rest of them. So it wasn't peaceful at that point, dude.
And people have a right to redress their grievance, but they shot her.
I know that, but you got to do it peacefully, though.
She had no weapon. She was a woman, and why didn't a man just handle her? She was a woman. He had no
What
weapon.
about the one beat the hell out of a man with the damn flagpole and the flag and everything? And y'all want to make laws for the flag now all of a sudden, Kevin?
And maybe they should have shot him, but that woman didn't have a weapon.
But she had some scrap beating. She was in there beating at the damn wall with her fist like rest
So what? Wall don't cry.
It wasn't peaceful. So
okay, well,
you lose your damn argument, dude. Bye.
Okay. Well, I mean, no. I think she deserves a military record. She served this nation. Now, had she been in uniform and she was out there doing all that stuff, then I would have said she'd have brought a dishonor to that uniform. But again, and had she been on active duty, she served her nation. She did her job. She received an honorable discharge. She served honorably. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that at all. She made a mistake, but then again, have our men got to the point now we're just gonna shoot women like that? I mean, she didn't attack anybody. Anyway, I don't know. A Georgia man shot and killed 3 masked teens as they tried to rob him at his home, and the parents are whining and dining. Okay, the masked teens, a 15-year-old and 2 16-year-olds, approached 3 residents around 4 o'clock in the morning, last Monday, at the front of the house just outside Conyers, Georgia, and tried to rob them. Okay, one of the would-be robbers took out a gun and fired shots at them before one of the residents returned fire. I don't have a problem with that at all, and it's a shame. It is a shame that we have young men who will get involved in that kind of thing. It's an absolute shame, but there's a consequence for what you do when you do something like that. I mean, and again, that's probably one of them cases where their father wasn't involved in their lives. Okay, he couldn't be. He couldn't be. Yes.
I want to make sure it's clear. I don't care if Negroes are killing each other. I'm not out to stop it. But if Trump went to any of these black cities, the first thing out of Willie Durham's mouth is he's just going to black cities.
Well, again, I said there's a political.
See, that's all it is. It's about ignorant race. Willie Durham is nothing but a politician. It sucks up to Mayor Reed. That's all he is. Ask him how Whitewater's doing. He's got his name signed on the top of that. Is he paying any of those bills?
Whitewater's doing pretty good. Whitewater's doing all right. I still say I'd rather have another Whitewater than another slave monument. And not that I don't respect what those people went through, but we're trying to move on to the future. Anyway, man, it's almost time to get out of here right now. Anyway, so good morning. I didn't get a chance to get up and get my milk this morning, so I had to sit here for almost 2 hours, just kind of like hanging out. But that's okay. And 6 people have been arrested for that Atlanta highway shooting that paralyzed a Montgomery woman in Montgomery, and it's a female. So, hey, even the females are getting involved in this kinds of thing. Okay. Anyway, so let me go. The lesson of life today is wishing never made anybody successful. If there's a single lesson that life teaches us, that it is work, not wishing, that puts you in the right position. So with that, we'll say sayonara. Nice for you guys to join us today. We appreciate you. And what about chasing down an 11-year-old and shot him in the back from ringing your doorbell and running away? Yeah, I think that was kind of, listen, that's kind of crazy too. Okay, I mean, 11-year-old ringing they ain't hurting anybody by ringing the doorbell. I used to do that myself. You go out and ring the doorbell and keep moving. But anyway, that's a whole different conversation. Again, and it all goes to the social norms. It all goes through the cultural change in America. And is that cultural change? Is it working for us? Remember, it's not the falling down. Let me give you It ain't up every time you do.
In the quiet of the
So,
morning light,
that's the thing. I'll
hands
see y'all.
raised high in
Good morning.
pure delight.
Have a great day.
Thankful
Oh, and remember,
whisper
it's a great day,
in
an
the
outstanding day
gentle breeze.
to be alive.
Grateful heart with such sweet ease.